Hello dear student, how are you all? I think everyone are fine there. So student, today we are going to study or learn about the part 3 of the poem Geography lesson, which is written by Zulfikar Ghosh. So student, before beginning with the part 3 of the geography lesson, a poem, let's recall the first and the second part of the same poem. I mean the first and the second stanzas of the same poem. So student, in the first stanza, what we have learned? Yes, recall it. In the first stanza, we have learned that in stanza number 1 and stanza number 1, we learned here Zulfikar Ghosh, poet, is flying. Poet is flying in a jet. Poet is flying in a jet. Fine, we learned. Then while flying, then what he observed, though when jet was taking off from runway, then what he observed? What he observed here, he seen that okay, why the city where I used to reside, why the city where he reside is so haphazard, So what is the meaning of the word haphazard? A new word for you. It means why it is constructed in a such a unplanned manner. It means haphazard means unplanned manner. Why it is constructed in unplanned manner? Okay, what? The city. Then he was thinking about this and he got one idea. Though the city was constructed in a such an unplanned manner, people were constructed their home from one there in that corner, another home was constructed in that corner, and it was so unplanned. It was not constructed properly. Then what was the reason behind it? Then he thought, might be they have constructed as their wish. Might be there is no reason at all. Okay. Then he found if there is no reason, no one can do anything, then it is an inhabitability. Then what it is called? It is inhabitability. It is inhabitability. The word inhabitability means as it is, we can't change, which couldn't be changed, is called inhabitability. So the peoples have constructed their home and it couldn't be changed at all, then it is called inhabitability. Though he was thinking about the inhabitability, but when the jet went somewhere far away from the city, then he scaled the map of the whole city. Okay, within the 6 inches. Okay, he scaled the map of the whole city and he told, this is what the city looks like. It is a different in manner. Okay, the peoples have constructed their home here and there and it becomes here inhabitability. We can't change. And he start measuring the whole city in a such a centimeters, in a such a small scales. Understood? Fine. Then this is what we have learned in the first stanza. Now, in the second stanza, what we have learned? Yes, in the stanza number 1, we learned these things, and in the stanza number 2, we learned that when the jet is on 10,000 feet. 10,000 feet means it is too much, okay, somewhere from the earth. When the jet is 10,000 feet, then what happened? The whole city looks like such a dot. Then he got some idea. Though I am traveling somewhere on the 10,000 feet, I can see their river, I can see their stream, I can see there a beautiful valley. I can see some deserted place which is away from the city. Then what was the reason there behind the peoples? Why they have settled here? Why they want to settle just beside to the rivers, somewhere in the valley? What was the reason at all? So he asked these kind of questions among himself. So what were these questions? He asked two questions. Why the river and valley are among the city? What was the reason why the river and valley are among the city of any country? Let's say of an America, let's say of an Pakistan, of any country. So he asked this question with himself. Then he got the answer of this question when the jet rose to 10,000 feet from the earth's surface. Then he got the question. So then he got the answer of this question. Though people want to settle somewhere in such a beautiful and the peaceful area, and that beautiful and the peaceful area they will get beside to the rivers and they will get in the valley. The people's ancestor came and they settled down and they have acquired the land, okay, and they start constructing the buildings and they start constructing the huts and the houses where their family was started to reside there. But in exchange of what? In the exchange of exploitation of the natural resources. So this is what he got a clear idea. Though in the first stanza I was thinking that the city was planned in such a haphazard manner. It is not built up properly. But I knew the idea. Why the peoples want to settle there? Why the peoples want to settle just beside to the rivers? Because there is a big reason. People want such a leisure lifestyle. They don't want to struggle in their life. They want to settle in one place and they have to spend their whole life in such a free and fair manner. So this is what a reason he got from the second stanza when the jet rose to 10,000 feet. Understood? So student, let's begin with the third stanza of the poem and whatever third stanza of the poem says to us. In the third stanza of the poem, I want to introduce you about, in the third stanza you will get know. Though the poet traveling somewhere far in the miles, okay, in between the sky, and he is now making the differentiation in between the oceans, in between the sea, in between the land. Now he is only talking about his own city, then he is talking about the country's city, then now he is talking about the ocean, sea, and he is telling how this beautiful environment is being exploited by the peoples who are residing here in this earth. So this is what we are going to discuss. So student, let's begin with the third stanza of the poem. Okay, so here he will differentiate in between the ocean, sea and the land and what peoples are doing there. Okay, but I can see each and everything is perfect, but why people want to divide themselves from another people? Why there is a fight? Why there is a war? If war, for what reason? Why people want to dominate themselves in this universe, though they have a very such a small life expectancy over the earth? Then what is the reason behind it? This is what he wants to speak here in the third stanza. And this stanza number 3, yes, the stanza number 3, okay, is a conclusion. Here you will get the conclusion or solution, conclusion or solution for all stanzas. Okay, for all stanzas of the poem, for all stanzas of the poem. Okay, so it is in conclusion, and here you will get the solution. Okay, why he have written such a beautiful poem for your NCERT textbook. So student, let's be started with the stanza number 3. Okay, and have a perfect reading over it and a perfect narrating over it. So student, let's be started here. So before narrating the stanza number 3, I would like to say you that please open that app where I have uploaded in the group, and open the line where you are going to read in another phone, and in this phone where you are watching the video, watch it thoroughly. Each and every line gets its meaning. Write it down in your literature notebook. So student, let's be started with the stanza number 3. When the jet rose 6 miles high. Now where is the jet? Where it is traveling? Yes, it is traveling somewhere in the deep sky of 6 miles high. So student, 1 mile is equal to be how many kilometer? Yes, I want to check your maths. 1 mile is equal to be how many kilometer? It is equal to, yes, tell me fast. It is equal to 1.6 kilometer. 1.6 kilometer. It means how many meters? It is 1600 meters. Okay, it is 1600 meters. So 1 mile is going to be 1.6 kilometer. It means 1600 meters. Now where is the jet? Jet is there in the 6 miles. So 6 miles into 1.6, how many? Yes, how many? Fine, 9 point, yes, 9.6 kilometer. How many points? Yes, 9.6 kilometer. So the jet is somewhere in the 9600 meter away from Earth. It is 9600 meter away from Earth surface, and it is there in the deep sky. So here the poet is traveling somewhere on the 9600 meter, okay, in the deep sky, and he is finding out. Now I couldn't find my own city, and it was lost somewhere in the earth. So I can see a perfect map of my country, India. I can see the landforms, I can see the Himalayas, I can see, okay, the whole state altogether, because somewhere on the up of the sky, even I can see the boundaries of my country. I can see each and everything very nicely. This is what he says here. When the jet rose to 6 miles high, 6 miles high, it means 9600 meters in the deep sky, then what he guessed? It was clear. Yes, it was clear the earth was round, and that it had more sea than land. Then I got a clear idea. Then I understood the whole earth is round. The whole earth is round, and there is more sea water. If we compare the land with the sea water, there is no land at all. There is sea water everywhere. Everywhere in the ocean you will find and water, but not a drop to drink. So everywhere you will find in the ocean and the sea water, but you will not see the land. If whatever the land is available, it is available with the human beings, okay, or habitant peoples of this land. Now this is what he says, and here the poet understood, okay, somewhere going in the 6 miles high, he understood that while the earth is in round in shape, and what is the proportion in between the water and the land, where the water is, yes, water is carrying somewhere 75% of the, okay, earth's surface, and the remaining 25% is land. This is what he wants to say. Then what happened? But it was difficult to understand that man on the earth found causes to hate each other, to build walls across cities and to kill. From that height it was not clear why. But the last paragraph, which is given on the page number 35, it is not understood by the poet. So what is the meaning of it? See what he says in the last 4 lines of this stanza. Okay, in the last 4 lines of this stanza, the poet says that, but it was difficult to understand that the man on the earth found causes to hate each other. So here man and earth, okay, they are hating each another. Man and earth, and the people who reside there on the earth, they are hating each other. They are hating each other. So what is the purpose of hating, or what is the purpose of aggression in between the mans who are residing there on the land? So what was the main purpose? He don't know at all. He don't know the meaning, even the answer of this question. And this question have a very big question mark. So he say, but it was difficult to understand that the man on the earth found causes to hate each other, to build walls across cities and to kill. The mans who are residing on the earth, they were building big walls and big fences, okay, over their boundaries, and they were disallowing the peoples of another country to get in their own country. If they enter, they are keeping them inside the prison. We human beings have a very less life expectancy, nearly somewhere, okay, it touches 100, we will die, we will get away from this universe. So we should have a liberty, we should have a freedom to move here and there. But why there is too much restriction, too much stoppage, too much limitations, okay? Why they are not allowing to move from one place to another without an ID card, okay, without a visa and a passport? Because the man are hating the man are ready to kill another man. There is no ethics, there is no morality, there is no sympathy in between the man's nature. They are hating to each other. So what was the reason? No one knows at all. Though people are residing here for some time, afterward they will die. Then what is the use of it? Preserving their resources. Okay, today he will have a resource, another day it will goes to another person. Yes or no? Then what is the use of it? So this question was not understood by the poet Zulfikar Ghosh. Okay, from that height it was not clear. Why? Again he is keeping one question to the readers. Okay, he is keeping one question to the readers. Why it is happening in between the persons, in between the man? So the question is why? Why the men are fighting with each other? Okay, for what purpose? They were not in a friendly relation. So this is what here we have learned in the stanza number 3. And here we have a glossary. Inevitable means that cannot be avoided. Okay, haphazard means without plan or order. Delineated means shown. So student, here we got 3 new words for the glossary. And if I talk about this poem, we have learned total 3 stanzas from this poem. In the first stanza, he started differentiating about his own city. Then he got new something. Then he started telling that on the 10,000 feet I was finding somewhere, okay, rivers and the valleys, okay, of my country's city. So why the country was settled down? Then he got answer. Then he talked about the ocean and the land. Then he understood and cleared. But one question he not understood at all. Why the men are fighting with each another? Why there are walls? Why there are fences? Okay, why this war is going to take place or it is going on? So this is a big question in the mind of the Zulfikar Ghosh, a poet, and he arised this poet in the mind of the readers, in the mind of me, in the mind of you, because he want to stop that hatred, that threat and that aggression and that fight in between the mans for the land. He want to stop it because no one going to take anything with them. If they are there on this universe, on this earth, they should remain in such a peace and happy mood rather than fighting with each another. So student, this is what we have learned from this poem. So student, For the time being, watch this video thoroughly from the beginning till end, okay, and make a proper notes of each and every stanzas of the poem, okay, because in the coming days a visiting Scot going to come to your home for checking your homework. So get checked by any teacher who will visit your home and have a proper understanding of each and everything in detail, and write down that glossary part in your literature notebook. In the coming video we are going to discuss the question and answers with grammar portion what we will get here in this poem. So student, take care, have a nice day, bye bye.